Hello, hello.
Grab a drink and join the chat. Grab a drink, join the chat. Let's start the show.
Hello. Good evening, beautiful people. I am so excited to be here with you tonight for another episode of the Happy Hour Show with Lindsey Vertner. And I am going to introduce my very special, handsome guest to my left over here in just one moment. For those that don't know, my name is Lindsey Vertner. I am a peak potential strategist and transformational speaker. I teach female entrepreneurs and ambitious leaders how to master their mindset and increase their self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. So that is what I do. Make sure that you are loving all over this video, liking all over this video. Put your comments down below because this is a conversation and I'm super excited to be conversing with my very, very special guest, Mr. Momodou Mambouray. And when I tell you, honey, he is that, okay? So he was born and raised in Gambia, West Africa. He's a finance graduate of North Carolina A&T State University with 12 years experience in real estate and the finance industry. He's now the CEO of Max Credit Score. And over the past 7 years, he has served over 40,000 clients. Do you hear me? Over 40,000 clients help get their credit together. So Max Credit Score is a community-driven personal and business credit building program. Their goal is to increase their clients' credit scores by at least 700 or higher. They have a mission to make financial literacy and credit education a priority in underprivileged communities, and they provide free monthly financial literacy and home buyer education seminars. So they are doing the damn thing in the community, okay? He also mentors young Black youth, helping them to develop a business around their passion. And he believes that if we can just start by changing our credit score, then we get access to the right information and we can indeed change our lives. So welcome to the show, Momodou. How are you?
Pleasure. I am elated. I'm grateful to be here. Rockstar Vertner, good to see you. Good to see you all the time. You inspire me all the time. In the time we've known each other, I've seen not only you start off amazing, but just continue to rise and grow and keep that fire energy. And a lot of people need that energy. So I'm grateful to be here with you. I just hope they can take all our fire energy because we're both pretty up there.
Yes.
But I'm great. Thank you for asking.
We are definitely going to be dropping the fire tonight. Victoria says, hello, everyone. Renette says, hello, all. Make sure you are sharing this video because we are definitely going to be dropping gems. Momodou is going to help us get our credit life and our money life. And we're going to talk about some other things too. So share this video, comment, post your questions below because Momodou is going to answer them later on in the show. So grab your drinks and join the chat. So I know I just ran through all of those amazing accolades. You work with real estate companies and you help the youth and you got your degree, you got some education. But tell us, apart from all of that prim and proper things, like who is Momodou behind the scenes? Who are you really?
So behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, I'm pretty much what you see, what you get. I'm a very, very high energy person who loves life, loves freedom, loves people to the core on a real level. And because of my love for freedom and my consistent, should I say, striving to better myself and give myself that freedom, I want nothing more but everybody to always feel that. So everything I've really done that's brought me to this point has been around getting financially free, not for the money factor of it. Those who know me personally will tell you I'm not a person who's like very financially driven, although I run a finance business. But what I am driven to do is show people that you have the option to live life on your terms, that life is a long process. You know, generally, a lot of us go through the usual vocation of school, and then you get to where you get your degrees, then you're looking for a job and you're looking for methods to work to make a living. So what I do is help people use the tools that we have within the system that we have to live in to free themselves and see other options. So although it's credit and real estate related, because you have to have a roof over your head, and if you go finance anything, you don't want to pay a whole bunch of interest for it. So I teach people how to leverage credit so that they'll be in a good position to buy whatever they want. But more so, it's about beyond that even. How do you create a life around your passions? How do you tangibly do that? Because you got to believe that there's more to life than just to work to make a living, or, you know, however people decide, or even just the mindset that life is hard, work is hard. Credit's usually the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, not because folks are not disciplined or folks are irresponsible, they just don't have the right information. So that's why we do the free homebuyer segments all the time. We've done free homebuyer seminars since 2013, every single month since 2013. And that's because we know if we come into an arena, we teach you everything you have to know. If you need the service, you'll find us. So we don't solicit credit repair, credit building, or anything like that, but we have the perfect system that works for people, and we really take care of folks here. So it's not like a business we're running. That's why it's more community driven. It's really to teach as many people as possible how your finances work, how your credit really works. Once you know that, we push you beyond that to say, okay, well, now that you know how to leverage these things, what do you do for a living? Do you love it? You know, how much time do you spend devoting to that? Do you really love it? And if you had a chance to pivot, what would that look like for you? So that's who I am.
I love that. It's like a holistic approach, because oftentimes, especially in underserved communities, we don't realize how much all our financial problems are tied to all the other stress, because we're so overwhelmed and consumed in that area that we don't even get a chance to explore our passion sometimes. So I absolutely love that not only are you giving them the financial education, but then like, okay, now, how does that work with your purpose?
Right. How does that work with your, you know, with your life in general? Because again, you know, we coined the phrase life is short, but life is long, you know, and if you have a choice to, I always feel like people can use somebody to really push them to define what we're passionate about. And when we get in a crutch situation, like when we come out of college, most of us come out with bad credit. That's because when you go into college, you can have as many degrees as you want to. In the end, there's no course teaching you credit. And another thing about that is we use the approach not to go, okay, well, the system didn't teach us this, or, you know, they don't share that. There's no they, because at the end of the day, again, information is powerful, and information changes situations. So it's just a lack of information that our people have. Once they have that knowledge, they can use it to leverage. We try to coach people out of codependency, coach them out of finding excuses or reasons to feel sorry for themselves, and know that if you take control, it's really a matter of following a simple system, and you'll be good to go, honestly.
Yes, 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 yes. Are y'all catching this already? Take control of not only your finances, but your life as well. And speaking of life and taking control, so I know that you were born over in West Africa and you came over to the States. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes society portrays Africa as this poverty-stricken, like everybody's living in huts, wearing loincloths and all those things. But Africa is a very, very beautiful, blooming whole city and country of its own, not cities within the country, you know what I mean? But just very beautiful and lots of architecture and fashion and so much knowledge and all of those good things. So give us a little bit of background on those beginnings over on the other side of the ocean.
So I was born in the Gambia, West Africa. And the Gambia is per capita the third poorest country in the world. Very small population. Gambia is on the west coast of Africa. It's inside of Senegal. The country actually used to be called Senegambia, but Senegal was francophone, and the British wanted to control the waterways, so they colonized the waterways and called it the Gambia. But I was born into a family. I was blessed. You know, my father was the head of the Central Bank of the Gambia when I was born, and my mother was one of the first young business women who started to travel around and travel the world. And she had aspirations to get into just hair, makeup. She taught young women, you know, different things about hygiene if you were to go into that art. So she really started traveling and bartering and buying and selling. So perhaps that's where a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit came from. However, when I turned 6 years old, there was a coup d'etat that happened in the country where the military took over the government. And when that happened, dad got fired. We lost everything, literally went back to ground zero. And my mother, superhero of a woman, helped bring all of her children, all of her family's children, meaning her sisters, cousins, legally from the Gambia into the United States, got everybody jobs, got everybody into school, got everyone situated. When I say superhero, literal superhero, I'm going to write a book about her when it's all said and done. But then we migrated here, and when we came over here, we were children. We didn't really know what was what. I could just say we personally thought American children, sorry for this, were evil, because when we got here, it was a struggle to adjust and blend in. But what I really loved about this place was that just the concept that you can create the life you want here if you did create that space for yourself. So yes, there's always a lot of politics involved in the United States, etc. But if you really choose your perspective and how you choose to see things, even in the climate of what's going on today, if you don't let all the noise drown you out and you create your own agenda, you have a way to break through. And what I notice is that whether you're in the Gambia or in the United States, it's all about your mindset and how you choose to perceive things, because things are always going to go wrong in the world. Things are always going to be bad. So, you know, if you don't create or make a decision for the direction you want your life to go in, you better believe there are a million corporations who have full interest in your dollars and your time and your energy, and want you in front of that TV glued up and really not focusing on anything else. So the best thing I learned from my childhood, I guess, was, you know, just morals, to where we didn't really chase, it wasn't such a capitalist society. A lot of things were centered around family ritual. A lot of things were centered around, just gathering as a family and appreciating those little things. So it gave me humble beginnings, but at the same time, it also let me see a duality of how both of the places went. So I'll never forget where I'm coming from. One of the projects I'm going to be working on is for back home, and ultimately I'm going to be doing a lot of give back in that sense. But that's how it was kind of growing up in the Gambia.
Yes, yes. And you hit on so many points. I don't even know where to start, but I definitely want to make sure that I point out, if you didn't catch it, like, everybody has a choice, because in those moments, whenever they went to rock bottom, there was a choice. Like, are we going to be a victim to our circumstances, or are we going to rise above it and overcome those obstacles and be a victor? And kudos to Mama for making that decision. Listen. That's not going to be y'all, okay?
Rock star of a woman. And with you even mentioning that, within our program, we take the relationships we have seriously. meaning we push out clients, but it's a little deeper than that. And when you speak of not being a victim of your circumstances, we don't even let our clients play that game with themselves. You don't have time. You deserve the best life you want for yourself. And choice is more powerful than you think it is, because a lot of times you got to understand the way your brain functions. When you think of things and you have an idea in your mind, if automatically you're programmed to see obstacles, guess what you're going to attract? If automatically you're programmed to see opportunity, then your mind will allow itself to expand and open up to where you can seek out those things. So even within what we do with finances, there's a little bit of a mind set change that we try to just induce in there to make you think differently about different things. And for that reason, everything we do, we try to under promise and over deliver, and kind of not show you the whole veal while you're going along the way, but show you that with consistency, you can achieve any one of those things for yourself. So it's always about a mindset.
Mindset is everything. Perspective is key, right? And speaking of perspective, because I know that there are a lot of people watching where they do have some credit issues, or they do have, just money issues. Maybe they have an okay credit score, but still that financial piece of it. One thing that I always say is that it takes the same amount of energy to be miserable as it does to be happy. So you have to choose wisely and make that choice, because we're all given the same 24 hours in a day, where we all live in this universe together. And so it's like, what are we doing with the cards that we're dealt? And what you focus on, you attract more of. So where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so there was a comment here that says, it's hard when you're living paycheck to paycheck. And thank you, Vicky, for being vulnerable to share that. But what would you say to that person that feels like, oh, I'm trying, but I just can't get out of this cycle of paycheck to paycheck?
Well, that's the thing, Vicky. One, appreciate paycheck to paycheck for what it's worth, because a lot of people don't have a paycheck or job. And COVID-19 came and destroyed not only people who had jobs. I have tons of clients who are business owners who grew successful businesses over time, and that came and still caught them off guard to where they lost everything. So I will always revert to two different things when you're looking at an avenue you really want to get involved in. And this is something where, I always ask my clients just to challenge them is, have you ever really given thought to what you're passionate about? And when I say that, most people think, well, if I have a job, if I have a job and 3 kids, I hear you, brother, but I'm not about to quit my job and let my paycheck go and jump to follow my passion. But the truth is, that is the difference between starting towards a life for yourself and not. Because what you know for sure about that paycheck to paycheck is it's not going to change. There's no growth there, right? That's just going to keep you trapped in that cycle, because it has a limit and it has a ceiling. What you know for sure is, even if you're doing paycheck to paycheck, I'm one of those people, I don't preach, quit your job, start a business, get the la land. No, we want you to follow very practical steps. So keep your job, keep the paycheck to paycheck, but how do you prioritize those dollars? And aside from that, start to identify what your passions are. Even for us adults and those of you who have children, I don't have any of my own, but I'm an older brother of 5, and my brother has 2 beautiful children. And, I'm just familiar with the sense of, but even for those of us who have that ability to pivot, again, I would say, if you put enough consistency and time in what you're passionate about, it will grow over time. So, it's all about prioritizing time. That's why I say, when you're trying to find something that you're going to do to make a living, many of us give up on our dreams as a child. Even if you have 3, 4 children, if you don't start to believe in the things you want for yourself and try to be the best version of yourself, you're not going to be the best version for them. So, try not to use that as a crutch or an excuse, because if you do so, you're really not serving yourself. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's completely fine. Keep your paycheck to paycheck. However, if you can serve 1 hour a day, just the brainstorming, not even putting anything extra to doing anything else. If you can just put 1 hour a day to brainstorming on something that's next for yourself, you can achieve a lot to go very, very, very far. So you just got to really be careful of that.
Yes. And that's important to not allow it to be our crutch and to not fall in that cycle, because like you said, that's not going to change. And so sometimes, because we know what's coming, it's easy to sit comfortable and I know how this is going to play out, even though I don't want that for my life. I want more for my life, but I know what's coming, which speaks to the fact that oftentimes we allow the fear of failure or the fear of rejection or the fear of the unknown or the fear that we're not truly good enough for what we want in our life to hold us back from the things that we truly, truly desire.
Ring that bell a couple more times. And even beyond that that's why it goes back to belief and mindset, because that fear is, to me, that fear is directly correlated to your faith. A lot of us like to believe, and I don't want to tell people what to believe or anything like that, but the amount of faith you have to go for what you want and what you deserve, or to at least start to pursue that, to me, I correlate that to the amount of faith you have in your creator. Because if you really believed in your creator, you would believe that he wants what's best for you. And you would believe that he would support you if you took out in faith. But if you let fear reign, then you don't really have faith, right? Both can't occupy the same space. So, I always say God will show you the evidence if you take the step out. So, and I don't want to bring spirituality into this. Whoever you serve, however you call it, that's what it is. But I believe that is the whole microcosm of life that we see in all different cycles. Because the truth is, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you've had rough moments, you've seen it come through and support you, and you've gotten through humps over and over and over again. So the real question is, what are you afraid of to take that leap? And a lot of times it's a self-worth issue, because we're very hard on ourselves. We are very hard on ourselves in terms of mistakes we might have made in the past, in terms of, okay, we don't think we're smart enough, pretty enough, beautiful enough, whatever the case is enough. So that is something to work through, because at the end of the day, we live in a system where you have to perhaps work to make a living, right? But everything has a spiritual, deeper undertone to it. So I always say, dig deeper in terms of what do you feel you deserve for yourself? Because at the end of the day, that is what you're going to manifest, what you feel like you're going to deserve, what you feel like you're going to get, at the end of the day. So just challenge yourself, want better for yourself, and know that you deserve it. Forgive yourself. Forget things that's happened in the past. All of those things don't define who you are. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life is not to attach the amount of money that I had in my bank account to the level of passion I had to go get what I wanted for mine.
Okay.
So, being a business owner and entrepreneurship, you're going to go through times where when you're trying to make it, you're going to go up and down. That's just a part of the game initially. But that's all a test of faith that if you're really able to do it. And most entrepreneurs will tell you they've hit rock bottom once before they did it. I mean, hey, if you know rock star Vertner's story, she was labeled a vegetable. And then she got up and inspired thousands of women. And that's how we even came to Met, because I was just so marveled by her story. So, don't take those small things for granted. You have a story, and I wanted to go deeper than us even talking about it and romanticizing it, right? This is real life we're talking about. And if you look at the outside circumstances, if you look at that spiritual undertone I was talking about, everything that's going on is forcing you to go within and really see and dig deep about, what do you really want for yourself? What are you really passionate about? Because for a lot of people, it was time. Then coronavirus hit, and now all of a sudden you have time. What's the excuse? For a lot of people, it's, well, I got 3 kids, I got to take care of them. I repeat, if you're miserable, your kids will have a worse upbringing, because not only have you killed your dreams, now because you have a lack of that faith, you're going to kill their dreams. Don't do that to yourself. So again, we tend to try to work backwards, meaning we figure, okay, no, I have to find the job and the career and the opportunity, then I'll be happy. It's the other way around. Your mind is a much more powerful creator than you think it is. So you have to start backwards with the mindset that I don't know how this is going to work, but it's going to work, and it's going to happen, and it's going to open up for me, and it's going to get much better. Once you lock in on that mindset and you don't accept nothing less than that, watch life start to unfold for you. I promise you without fail. Not only have I lived through this, Lindsey's a transformational coach. I help transform people's lives and finances and situations every single day. So what I consistently see people go through is, oh, that's not even, before we even speak, I had a client call me 15, 20 minutes ago while I was sitting right there applying for a MacBook laptop, didn't think she was going to get approved for Apple, anxiety, stress and all that stuff. And she ended up getting approved. But at the end of the day, it was like all of that anxiety was an illusion. You get what I'm saying? It didn't serve you well. All it does is cloud the energy for the energy that's going to propel you towards what you want. So don't worry about the circumstances that's going to lead you there. Shift the mindset.
Yes.
It all starts in your mind, in believing it's going to happen. Then by taking share of that faith, what you'll see is people will start coming into your life.
Yes.
Opportunities will start coming into your life. Ideas will start coming into your mind. Then from those, you'll be guided through. You don't have to do, you have one job, and that's to have the right mindset, not to have the right skills, not to have the right degrees, or none of that. The business I started, I didn't need my degree to do that. And I have a degree. I didn't need my degree to do that. It was all trial and error for several years. And for me, coming from an African family, for a lot of times it was, we put prestige over these big jobs and go work for the World Bank or go work for the United Nations and all these other companies. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, we're taught to put all of this greatness outside of ourselves and seek for that validation in things outside of ourselves. That's why I say start with what you love. If you love cooking, I guarantee you can make more doing that. If you really, really chase your passion, your mind will start working towards ideas for it to happen. So again, for my paycheck to paycheck folks out there, that's not going to grow, right? So keep that. How do you start to pursue something that you can consistently work at getting better at step by step? If it's an hour a day, hour a week, hour a month, and regardless of how little effort you put into that, you got to be sure, because the amount of your belief is what you're going to materialize. Like I always tell people, even the science of the mind, when we say, oh man, I want to get in shape. If you say, I want to get in shape and I want to be fit, but then your inside voice and your emotion goes, I'm not really fit to do that. That's what you're going to materialize, that inside voice.
Yeah.
But if you say, I'm going to be fit, and then you start to envision yourself with your, body the way you want it to be, et cetera, and you stay fixated on that, it will start to unfold. So it sounds like magic, right? But guess what? Have you looked at yourself lately? What do you think you're made out of? You got to believe in yourself again. You have to, absolutely have to. That's where your destiny resides, not in the mundane. Okay.
Yes. And this seems to be like a running thing, because I feel like all day today, I delivered some master classes and I've had coaching clients all day, and it's like the ongoing theme. And one thing that I often share is that you have to take yourself out of victim mode, because when we're stuck in victim mode, as in I'm constantly living paycheck to paycheck,
you're out of your power.
Or everything is like always happening to me, or if it ain't this, then it's this. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Like when
let's be fair, a lot of times it's your surroundings too, right? It's your spouse sometimes, it's your brother sometimes, it's your parents sometimes, it's your children sometimes. And all of those, especially for folks, because I get a lot of people always to say, well, yeah, I do, but everybody around me is so negative. Well, guess what? That means you're special. Because if they're negative and you get to see different, that means perhaps you're the one to set the example. You know what I'm saying? So embrace that. And that victim mentality you're talking about, that's the easiest way to give your power away. And at the end of the day, you got to make a choice for yourself. You want to be a victim, or you want to be a success story for yourself, not for anybody else. Don't do it to impress Susie Q and James and Jerron. Do it for yourself. Because at the end of the day, I repeat, it's always a self-worth issue. Sometimes we're only motivated when outside elements come into our lives, and you got to realize that's a way to that's not sustainable, because then if you don't have that outside element, all of a sudden you lose motivation, which is why I said the same thing about if you had $0 in the bank and you feel low, but if you have $10,000 in the bank, now you feel, okay, I got a little pep in my step. You can't operate that way, because then that means that small dollar value of energy is bigger than what you feel you have within yourself. You got to shift that. You have to shift that.
Yes, you got to get out of victim mode. So when you're stuck in victim mode, you give up your power for change, and you say it's up to somebody else to determine your life. So you got to get rid of that and figure out, okay, what do I truly, truly desire for my life? And then go get it. Now, if you are just tuning in, we have dropped 50 million gems already helping you get your life together. So make sure you share this video, because if you heard something, I'm sure somebody on your timeline or feed needs to hear it too. Share this video, comment down below. Make sure you post your questions for Momodou below, because later on he is going to answer those. And this is a conversation. This isn't just us two talking. This 100%. Is us and you as well. So share, comment, love. This has just been awesome. And we've already talked about money. We've talked about what that looks like coming from West Africa to the States. We've talked about getting your life together. Woo, that's a whole series by itself, okay? Self-worth, just being in victim mode, so many things. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you go back and watch the replay. But right now, I think that this is a great time to find out
What's in your cup?
Hey,
I like that.
This is the part of the show where you comment below what you're sipping on tonight. And y'all know, hashtag no judgment zone, whether it is a spiked drink or a kosher drink, we love you just the same. So we will start with our lovely guest, Momodou Mambouray. And so tell us, what are you sipping on? Give your cup some cup cam. Show us, and tell us.
So cheers. This is a Hard Rock cup that I like just because I like colorful things and different images, et cetera, et cetera. But so this is water with lemon in it. And I have a tendency to drink a lot of these before a meal or after a meal. It helps to really cleanse your system out before a hard meal. If I'm going to eat like dinner food or anything like that, it'll be hot water. I know it's a little, more boring than alcohol. I would share a toast with y'all, but I personally haven't had alcohol since January, my birthday. Not that I won't have another toast of champagne at some point. But for today, it's just lemon water and a dragon fruit to follow up.
Nice. Dragon fruit. So he's going with the especial fruites, yeah? I don't know what language that was, but it wasn't English, it sure wasn't English. So, and hashtag no judgment zone. It's okay to not have alcohol. That's not for everybody. And so I'm actually drinking jade mint citrus tea with some other things, like some honey and some lemon. So I'm having a nice hot drink. I've noticed my voice been getting a little bit coarse from all the speaking I've been doing here recently. And so I was like, let me tame my throat. And today I decided to go with my Jet Beauty of the Week cup. Yes, owning all of it. So tell us what you're sipping on in the comments. We will shout you out. And meanwhile, let's get back into this awesome conversation. So we were just starting to talk about that, we have to make that choice. We have to make a decision, because even indecision is a choice, right? Like
it's a bigger choice, because it's a choice to not do anything and lose your power.
Yes. So we have to make that choice of which way we're gonna go, because whichever choice we make, the world is going to conspire to uphold that choice. And it's that inner voice that's speaking deep down within us that is deciding that choice, because we can talk about it all day, but it's the things that we're truly feeling inside that creates the reality that we live in. So for example,
please don't let that one go over your head. That is 100% how it works.
Yes, exactly. And just to prove that point, it was like everything was aligned today, because the client I had earlier, and I'm sure she won't mind me sharing, I'm not going to share her name, of course, but here's the thing. She is in one of my top tier programs, and she knew what she wanted, and she knew she wanted more. She didn't know how she was going to make it happen. She had just lost her job, but she was like, I want this and I'm going to fight for it. Lo and behold, she ended up getting a job, but then COVID hit and she lost her job all again, but then she got it back. Long story short, she has been making her payments on time. And then we're going on a trip to Mexico, okay? She didn't have a passport, but she had already made the decision that I want more, and I'm fighting for what I want. I'm fighting for what I truly, truly desire. And that's what she did. So she bought a flight before she even had her passport. And when I say passports have been crazy right now, they're taking months and months and months upon months to get you a passport if you didn't have one. She applied at the end of July. Please tell me why her passport arrived in the mail when it's people that applied months ago that are still waiting. Like, that is a Holy Ghost, hallelujah.
I've seen miracles like that every day and more, and that's why that's important, seriously.
Very, very, very important. If that doesn't prove, like when you make a decision for what you want, everything starts to come together. You don't always have to know the blueprint. Sometimes it's up to you to be the blueprint and create the blueprint. But know that when you make that decision and you commit to it, then things start to fall together in your favor.
100%.
I know you have more to add to that.
Well, I mean, because again, and I have a lot of compassion for people because again, I've been through many situations myself, and I have a lot of friends, family members who usually go through things, and I just want to let you know that your struggle is your triumph. If you didn't have to go through the situations you went through, you wouldn't know how it feels to triumph on the other side. So embrace your situation. Embrace that compassion for yourself and be easy on yourself. If you've made mistakes in the past and you feel like you didn't get it all right, all of that's okay. But what do you do from that point on? What decision are you going to make for yourself from that point on? Because again, and I don't want to keep repeating the same sentence, but at the end of the day, what you feel you deserve is what you're going to get. So how do you change what you feel like you deserve? And if it's credit that's standing in your way, that's simple. If there are negative things on your credit, dispute all of them. If you have credit cards, try to pay them under 30% and stay consistent. Over time, you'll build credit, and once you build credit for yourself, then that just means you get to save money on different things that you go and finance. And then if you want to get into business, you can go use that money to leverage to then get into business. Now, I don't even always suggest to people build credit so you can use the money to go invest in something necessarily, but how do you use that same mindset in every single area of your life? Because at the end of the day, you got to prioritize certain things if you want a good quality of life. And first is your health. Without your health feeling right, you won't generally always feel at your best. So prioritize your health. Prioritize your mindset. What are you feeding into your mind every day? What content are you feeding into your brain 24/7? What do you truly believe about that? Because at the end of the day, it's good to have a balance. Everybody loves entertainment and news and all that other stuff that's going on. But what about you? How much time do you give for you and your mindset? Do you know about meditation? Have you tried meditating? And that's literally just the art of quieting the mind. So your true voice, your true inner voice, and its true ideas will come through and shine. Because a lot of times you just got this information highway system going up here. And it's thinking about 5 million things to where you can't even clear your mind, focus on what you want to do because there's this constant distraction. You wake up, I got to take the kids to school. I got to do this and I got to do this for this person, do this for that person. I got to watch the news and I got to watch TV. By the time the day's gone, you're exhausted. Now you have no more time to do anything. So quiet your mind and prioritize yourself. If you got to cut some people off, if you got to slow down certain activities, whatever you have to do for yourself, you can't serve the world at your best if you can't give to yourself. And, to say cliche statement, and this is not originally mine, but what do they say to you when you're in an airplane? Put on your mask first. You can't save nobody if you can't save yourself. That goes in every area of life, so are you worth saving? And do you believe you are? And if you don't believe you are, that's a choice. And again, don't pressure yourself to be this financial success. A lot of people are happy with much less. You get what I'm saying? Money and finances, credit, all of it included. It doesn't make you happy. It just amplifies who you are. If you are irresponsible with $50, I guarantee you when you have 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, you're going to be more irresponsible. And then you're going to be more upset at yourself at that point because you're going to see the magnitude of what you're able to lose. So you have to change your habits. And the interesting thing is I have clients who make $200,000 a year, can save no money. Then I have clients who work for Metro and make $18, $15, $12 an hour, sometimes working little jobs. And because of their money habits, they got savings in the bank. So at the end of the day, it's all about what your habits are, so certain financial habits can help. When you get paid, pay yourself in a stash and put it away and forget it exists. Yeah, it sounds easier than done, right? But guess what? You have to put some of these habits into play for yourself if you really want to crawl out of that. But that's why I always say, go back to what were you passionate about as a child? What would you do for free if you could do it and nobody would pay you for it? What do you find yourself? What do you spend 24 hours a day doing naturally? When you're escaping from your job, whatever that vocation is or that hobby is, look into that. Perhaps maybe you could do something in that arena, because then if it's something you enjoy, you won't mind putting in the work day in, day out. But if it's something you don't enjoy, you'll be doing it for a long time. And if it's that 9 to 5 and you already know you don't enjoy that paycheck to paycheck, you know how much time you spent at work every day if you have, that job. And again, it's not a bad thing, but just consider you spent 8-9 hours a day every day working on something that's going to make somebody else fully profitable, right? You get something out of it, which is cool. But when are you going to start linearly building something for yourself in that nature? Who are you working for at the end of the day? You get what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself these real questions, and you got to know that you're in the position you are to prove to yourself out in faith that you can achieve that. Believe in yourself, believe that you deserve it. Okay. And you always have more help than you think you do. A lot of times we get distraught and we don't open our eyes to see that all the resources you need, God will never forsake you. Every single thing you need, you have everybody around you to help you accomplish that. You just have to be open to it and the mindset. But be wary of one thing and catch yourself very fast if you fall yourself slipping into this. If you have a thought and then that second thought comes out like, I can't do that. That's the devil speaking to you.
Okay.
I'm serious. It ain't in the afterlife where you're going to go to heck for your sins or whatever. I don't know what you believe, but that self-doubt, that rejecting yourself, that giving up on your own ideas, that lack of belief that you deserve it for yourself. You don't have to have some special accolade to be worthy. You are worthy as you are. But if you don't believe that, the game's over. You don't get to play. So you have to believe that. And that's the beginning of creating momentum. And momentum is powerful. So you have to sustain that momentum. It's not like, oh, I'm excited today, then tomorrow I lose momentum. That's why I say do the work, and there are a lot, one thing I believe about finances is that there's no one way to be successful in finance. There's no one way to do it. So a lot of times you'll speak to some people. I don't deem myself accredited a finance guru. I have a system that works, and it's worked for thousands of people, more than 40,000. Okay, over the years, every single day, it's just happening. And, I chose the path to create a life that blends with my business. So, a lot of folks that know me personally be like, dude, do you even work? Yeah, but I talk to people about finances all day. That's what I love doing. That's what I would do for free. Naturally, I'm always catching myself giving advice. So I figured I'd get into the field, but also make a list of the things you value. What do you value? Is it freedom? Is it family? Is it finances? Is it faith? Is it money? Is it materials? Is it, sunshine? Like, what do you value? I value freedom over all of that, now not over faith and all those other things. But when it comes to tangible things, I value freedom because your time is valuable. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want nobody to tell me when I have to be at a certain place, when I have to leave to a certain place. That's not how I want my life to operate, so I make choices that's going to allow me to do things based on my own will. Some people might look at that and say, oh, well, but that's on them to pass judgment. They don't have to live this life. I do.
Right.
So same thing for you. There are a lot of people are not going to agree with what you choose to do with yourself. And a lot of times when you think you don't have folks who believe in you, it's really yourself and your projection of you not believing in yourself. More people believe in you than you think do. More people actually really want you to succeed and want the best for you. But if you don't believe that in your core, you're going to see the negative in every projection. So mind your projections also, and mind judging other people's situation and comparing yourself to folks. I was talking to one of my best friends, and we were just talking about how, as a child in certain cultures, they make it a norm to compare. Well, look at this person's child. They went to school and they got this degree, and look at this person's child. That's assuming very incorrect. You see pictures of celebrities and folks. Hey, Constance, I love Constance. That's another powerful speaker there. So, mind the things you're projecting out there, because those things have a tendency to really become real. You get what I'm saying? So when you look out at other folks and pass judgment, oh, they look so happy, it must be easy. Or you look at some people who've created a certain status and you're like, oh, well, they have too much. They such and such. You don't know how much that person prayed. You don't know how much that person's working behind the scenes. They had enough talent and faith. Why do you think people idolize celebrities? We all have the same kin spirit. Yes, we're all human. We live different lives. We're in different bodies. We have different situations. But the spirit knows what's in this core. So when we see someone else step on faith to be authentically themselves without fail, something in us loves that because we know it's in us. So that's what you really are emulating when you're looking at folks that you admire. Give that same admiration to yourself. Okay, you don't. There's no star bigger than you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's something I coach to my young students all the time. Is that, because all the time, when the kids are growing up and they're going to school, their star may be a rapper or a football player or artist or a celebrity or actor, which is all fine, right? If you see success, you follow the clues. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. However, that same prestige you give to those individuals, why not you?
Right.
Why
Why
not you?
not you? And I want to stop you right there for a second, because there's some comments that I want to go back to. And I think it's so important. I hope y'all are catching all of this. Listen, we're going to have to go back and watch the replay. We're going to have a watch party or something. Make sure you share this video out. Post your comments and questions down below, because if you're feeling it, there are 50 other people on your feed that also need to feel it. And listen, please share. But it's so funny that you mentioned about not comparing yourself. Ms. Vicky says, do you charge a fee? So could you be more specific about what exactly you're talking about as far as, do you charge a fee? Just let us know in the comments. But she says, it's easier said than done. My bills don't care about my passion. And so I definitely would challenge you to go back and watch the replay and actually listen in tune to some of the things that were said, because this was addressed, right? Because, sometimes when we are in those, I've got to work this job to pay my bills, like, what is the energy that you're putting out?
Well, you do. But Vicky, I would challenge you to say you have 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a TV show? Is that TV show more worthy than Vicky's true goals? And let me ask you another question before that. Have you actually made a list of what you're passionate about? And if the answer is no, then you haven't worked hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
And, I want to give that to you straight, because I'm a person who's not going to sugarcoat and make you feel easy about it also. You haven't worked hard enough. And when I say hard, it's not that, it has to be hard work, but God rewards effort. You get what I'm saying? Like, faith is rewarded through effort. So you have 30 minutes a day, to put aside, brainstorm, put a plan together and say, okay, every day between 6:30 to 7:30, Monday through Wednesday, or Saturday, 3:30 to 4:30, Vicky's putting together a plan of what she's passionate about. And all she's going to do is just write about all the beautiful, magical things that could happen. She's not even going to create a plan. She don't have to have any money to invest in it or anything like that. Just do that. And I promise you, watch how things unfold. But then let's go back to the mindset thing, Vicky, because I think I really want you to catch that point. Mind your words, because they hold the power of life and death. If your words are, my bills don't care about my passions and it's not possible, guess what? God says, your wish is my command. You're right, Vicky.
Right.
And your words are, what? I got these bills. I'm stressed and all of this, but I'm going to do better and make more anyway. And I'm going to make this thing happen. Vicky, life will change for you. Now, if you don't believe that, then guess what? That was your choice.
Yes.
You have to own that choice.
Yes. Just
challenge yourself, Vicky. You got more than that in yourself. You have more than that.
You have to own it. You have to make a decision and commit to it, just like the client that I mentioned earlier. Because
so some people laugh at folks who are optimistic people, and pessimism. Let me just ask you: is there any fruit in pessimism ever?
No.
Never. There's no growth in that. So if you're used to being that way, because some of us have that nature, because some people like to say, well, I'm a realist because I see things the real way. Okay. Some people are optimists and some people are pessimists. Is there any growth or fruit in pessimism? No. What about optimism? If you haven't tried it, try optimism.
Yes. So going right back to these comments. So thank you, Vicky, again, for your just vulnerability and being willing to share, because this is a learning environment for everyone. And everyone that follows me knows that it's #NoJudgmentZone. So you are not the only one. There are other people that are watching that are too afraid to say the things that you are sharing with us. So kudos to you on that.
And I don't want to move forward from Vicky because, I want to make sure that we actually help Vicky in a way. Vicky,
yes.
And, we talked about not comparing, right? But you have Wi-Fi and you're able to be in the internet. Do you know you are in the top 2% of the world's population?
Mm-hmm.
just because you have Wi-Fi and you have access to the internet. So, you know, we all have the same 24 hours a day and we all have different choices or whatever. But the truth is, Vicky, now with today's age, you can self-learn and self-teach yourself anything through YouTube. Anything. So it's all about, you know, at the end of the day, what is Vicky doing and not doing? And I don't want to be hard on yourself, but if that's what it takes to break you out your shell, that's what you need to do. You know, if you need to call me to yell at you once every 2 weeks to get to it, that can work also. But my point is, shift your words, for they have power. Shift your belief system, for they hold the power of life and death. I'm gonna leave you with that.
Yes. And listen, we're giving it to you. We're giving it to you.
Vicky, do you notice your language? We're gonna move on, but do you notice your language? As a single parent, you don't. I want you to reword. We're gonna make this the last point, but I want you to reword that sentence. You're a single parent. My mom raised 6 of her children and 18 others and still created a successful business and still went to school and got it done with. Vicky, Vicky, you're letting yourself off too easy. Do the work.
Yes. And
just university it is. Darren knows.
Going right back to that client that I mentioned earlier, she is a single mom with 3 parents. She had no job, yet she started going back to school just today or yesterday or whenever school started. She started going back to school. She now has a job, but she went so long with no job, yet she knew what she wanted and she made a decision. So we can't use single parenthood as an excuse to hold.
Well, you can. It's just know that you made the choice.
Right.
No one else did except for you. But again, and I'll leave you one last one, Vicky, because sometimes, again, you know, we can go through so many situations that leaves us down and out. You need positive, affirming friends and a circle around you. You need people who are going to speak power onto you. You need people who are going to support your ideas. If you find yourself around folks to where you say, oh, well, we can't do this. And they say, yeah, you're right. This is harder. We can't do this. Walk away as fast as you possibly can to the other direction. Because I promise you, even if they're conscious of it or not, this is your life we're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How much is your life worth to you? Don't play games with it. Do not play games with yourself.
Yes. So much good information. And again, we are not picking on you specifically. This is for everyone that's watching. Be sure to share this broadcast out, because if it touched you, it's going to touch so many other people. Just remember, you have to take yourself out of victim mode and make the choice that you deserve more. No excuses. I am a product of a single mother and I turned out amazing. I know many single parents that are killing it right now that came from nothing, but they made that choice to do something more with their situation, to do something more with the cards that they were dealt. And so I want everybody watching this right now to know that you have that choice, just like all of us have that choice. And remember to be grateful, because what we put out there, we attract more. So when we're thankful for what we do have, then we attract more things that we can be thankful for.
Let me piggyback on that for you. And you know, Steve Harvey's a man I respect in general, but not even always super fan of his. But there's one thing I caught Steve Harvey say like 3-4 years ago that always sat with me. And he said, whenever you're in a certain mind state, always go back to gratitude and watch it change and transform your life. Because again, this information highway is conditioned to a certain way of thinking. And a lot of times you're not conscious of it because it's just your programming. So you have to reset that programming and redo the way you think about certain things. So if you know you sometimes have a fear-based mindset to where when things come up, just by reaction, you might come up with something negative to say or a negative feeling behind it. Revert your mind, center it, and go back to gratitude. That has been transformational for me, myself. So, you know, that's something I would say personally transformed and helped change my life also. So that's something I would definitely say try to induct in your own life.
Yes. Constance says, I'm a very opportunistic person. I do not believe in can't. And I push my loved ones and clients to find the yes.
I can attest to Constance does not play. Constance is another very powerful,
I love
beautiful,
my girl
beautiful,
Constance.
beautiful, powerful lady. So she inspires so many people. I had the privilege to do an event with Constance a little sometime back, some years ago, and just seeing the light and the beautiful energy she gives to her children, she gives to her surroundings, and just listen. Do not take positive energy for granted. That is where life resides, and you need to have those surroundings because you heard that saying that you are the 5 closest people that you surround yourself with, right?
Yes.
We're sponges. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you're not a very strong-minded person, you can be a victim to that. So please, please, please don't. I'm not saying analyze your 5 people and say, "Oh, y'all negative. I'm getting rid of y'all today." But every day, start your day off with something that's going to affirm positivity in your mind, whether it's listening to something positive, listening to a speaker or coach that you induct with, whether it's working with Lindsey. Because when I met Lindsey, I thought I was high energy until I met Lindsey. You get what I'm saying? Like, because she's super high energy also and always about it. And sometimes people even have a tendency to look at that and be like, oh, well, she's just no, this woman changed her life and started changing other people's lives one by one. You think she's worried about what the other people are thinking about, how high her energy may be or not? Listen, success leaves clues. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Put a circle around you that's going to support your ideas. That's the one to see nothing but greatness for yourself. And then feel the fear and do it anyway.
Do it anyway. Miss Renette says, great information. Mr. Darren says, amen. Surround yourself with a positive circle. Simone, thanks for tuning in. Cher says, that is key because it's all about your mindset, because single mothers are powerful and can achieve unimaginable dreams. Like he said, you have to believe in yourself. Thank you for sharing.
Single mothers, I want to go beyond that even. Single mothers are not only heroes, but when we talk about having children and sometimes as a crutch, I know some friends where their children saved their lives. Yes. I know some people who were down a very, very dark path. And when they had children, it finally gave them passion and something to strive and work for. Then I know some other people who said, man, I wish I would have given myself the chance to really chase my dreams before I had children and brought them into this life. Because a lot of times, just because we're not looking to expand our mind, we will be, we'll just put ourselves in a position to where something outside has to come and then finally motivate us. But I say the more you haven't found out what you're passionate about, the more you're sort of in limbo about what you want to do, the better, because then that means you're not stuck to something. That means you still have choice to create something and pivot. You are a creator. That's what you are. You're not a person that needs to go follow suit and let somebody else guide you. You don't need to be codependent on anything. You are a creator. Inside of all of us, you have a special skill, talent, something that's unique about you. And that value is what you have to give to the world. It's not always something attached to a monetary value, but let your creative mind figure out ways to how you can monetize that for yourself. But again, just like Constance said, I don't believe in can't. There are certain words that, honestly, if you even look up history and read up a little bit, certain words are not in the actual original language. Can't, won't, if, maybe, but all of those things should not be there. There is no try. There's only do. Because if you say, hey, I'm going to try, well, I'm trying. No, you're short-circuiting yourself. Do it.
Yes.
Do it. And find other people to help you. And don't be afraid to ask for help. There is strength in vulnerability. A lot of times people, especially, sometimes men especially, want to be tough and we got to figure it out and we don't want to ask somebody for help. Listen, there is strength in vulnerability. Share your story. It will inspire somebody. People want to see what you've gone through. Folks have watched me through my life. They know it was not always rosy. Lindsey's seen me transform my company from a situation that went from super great to not so good. Then I had to transform it, revamp the whole company, start from the ground up. And now we're out of here. You get what I'm saying? We're absolutely out of here. So embrace your story, because it's a story that's meant to inspire you. It's meant to inspire somebody else. And I repeat, the greatness that you see in everything else around you, I guarantee you it's never going to get greater than what's inside there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Such awesome conversation tonight. Listen, We giving y'all the juice. It's up to you to drink it, okay? Make sure again that you share. I can't believe that it's already been an hour, but this has been an awesome, phenomenal conversation. And again, this is for everyone because there are people out there that are watching and listening that were too scared to speak up, but they are feeling the same way. So just know that you are not alone. And remember that you always have that choice to be a victim to your circumstances or to be a victor over your obstacles and create the life that you truly desire. Constance says, yes, your story is significant because you have to remember the things that you're going through, you're meant to be somebody else's breakthrough. So it's important that you live out your desires and you live to your maximum potential because we're all in this together. And
I'll leave you with these
you to show up.
1,000%. And I'll leave you with these last two final pointers. One is about your inner child, and the second is about the people in your life. You know, when you're a child, you're pure at heart and you are born into this world perfect, optimistic, full of life. Then the spell of your surroundings in the world teaches you that there are limitations to things and that you have to perhaps follow a given path. You owe it, nobody else. You owe it to your inner child to go back and free yourself. You owe it to your inner child to let your heart sing. Don't get caught up in your age. Oh, I'm 30, 40, 50 years old. No, listen, you are an eternal being. Your age has little significance to what's going on. Your job is to be happy. At the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing in your life, I want you to ask the question, does it make me happy? If it does not make you happy, reevaluate the choice very fast. You owe it to yourself. Second point I'll leave you with the people in your life. Everybody has a story. Everyone's story is significant. But even for yourself, if you're a person who, okay, well, you know, I care about my kids and I care about, that's all fine. But you owe it to the people in your life to be your best self. Period. If you're a person who's timid, you don't like speaking out in sorts, you owe it to the people in your life to be your best version of yourself. So regardless of what your current situation and circumstance is, if this doesn't change, nothing else will. Change this, invest in this. You're never going to get any greater return than investing in your mind, your heart, your body. Treat yourself right. We've been given this body to live in and be housed for a very long time. Honor it. Because at the end of the day, the way we treat ourselves and everything that you see manifest on the outside of your life is a reflection of what's really going on within yourself. So go back within. You get what I'm saying? And start with that self-love. Don't go back within and start criticizing yourself.
Right.
No room for that. Go back within, and the first thing you say is, hey, everything I did, I own it, and I don't care. Now, where do we go from there?
Yes.
Where do we go from there, and what decisions am I making? You know, and if you don't know where to start, I repeat, your job is not to find out how. Your job is to make a decision that you want greatness for your life. You don't even know exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to happen. And watch God slowly start to bring people into your life that are going to reflect that same internal programming. Your mind's like a laser beam. If I say, hey, I want to take a drink and a sip out of cup, just as I say that quickly and pick up this cup and drink it, everything in life works the same exact way. You don't believe me? Ask anybody that's been successful at anything and they'll tell you the truth.
Yes. And we gave so many examples throughout this. Yes. Morning Circle said, love it, love it. And you're never too old to pivot or to start new. Just think about that one old lady actress. I'm so sorry. I don't know her name, but I just remember the article.
The one that was in Black Panther. She started, that was her debut. That was her debut.
About.
I love her story. Mm-hmm.
She decided, like, I want to be an actress. And here she is in her senior citizen age. And she's in a top movie.
And with COVID going on, she's actually in new production for a new project also.
Nice.
What do you believe? One thing I wear. So, and then some people like to think, oh, we got it all figured out. No, I do the work every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I talk to myself every day. I wake up in the morning and I give myself the due diligence and time. My friend, you deserve it. Be the best for yourself. Be the best for everybody around you. More so, do things for the right reason. Do things with a pure heart and a pure intention. Don't do things for a means to an end. If you want to do positive or be good, do it for the right reasons. Don't do it so you can get something in return. You get what I'm saying? So keep your heart pure and do the right thing and do right by yourself. And I promise you, you can't fail.
Yes, yes. And I just hate that we are out of time, but there's two things that we have to cover. One, I have a very, very specific question to ask you. And then two, we have a little contest because somebody is going to win some free credit repair. Okay.
Absolutely.
So just hang in there for a few more minutes. Yes. Constance says, manifest a dream. Remember, the things that we are thinking influences our actions, influences our reality, and influences the way the world interacts and engages back with us. Let's see. Momodou, so glad I tuned in. Can I have that bracelet?
You have that bracelet. You know what? If I could reach you, I would give it to you, but I'm actually in Tulum, Mexico right now, a little far off. But I will say you can go and Google MAD, Manifest the Dream. They're actually a company that they make Irish sea moss. It's a friend of mine's company, and I try to support as many friends of mine as possible that have businesses. So yeah, you know, they make Irish sea moss. If you put Manifest the Dream and put sea moss in, you'll see a yellow and black logo, and they give you free wristbands with the jar. And I think the jar costs like $20 or something.
Nice, nice. Supporting it. So y'all know I'm all about happiness and intentionally creating happiness in every moment that you can. So I have to ask all of my guests my signature question: how do you intentionally create happiness in your life? And then after you share that answer, we're going to talk about how somebody can win some free credit repair.
So you want me to answer the question first?
Yes.
Okay. So I do that so there are a couple activities I do without fail every day. And I do these because they make me happy. I make fun music videos every day. One thing that's always been a passion of mine in life is music and production and content. And the credit business is something that came out of a passion to help people, and it creates good financial sustainability. But in truth, eventually, I'm going to start telling stories that inspire around people's lives. I'm going to start with my mother's story, and I'm going to start with personal stories of my own, and then go from there. So every day, I probably spend about an hour or so just creating videos that people will never see and edit and content behind the scenes. And also, I love to be in good physical shape because it makes me feel good. So every day I work out and I center my life around those activities. Like if I do those things every day, everything else is kind of going to flow. So sometimes folks, you know, look at me and be like, well, why are you working out all the time? I enjoy it. You know, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for everybody for sure. But if you like knitting and it makes you happy, do it for 30 minutes every day. If you like a TV show and that makes you happy, do it for 30 minutes every day. She said, mine is given to others. That's super awesome. Find somebody you can bless that needs it every week. Find a small way to do that. And what she said is so powerful, because one lesson I always taught my younger brothers is, you know, in life, if you are open to giving, now you're open to receive. Yes. But if you are this way, there's no space for anything. You get what I'm saying? So giving is powerful.
Giving is very, very powerful. And thank you for those nuggets. Again, if you are just tuning in, we are wrapping up. Make sure you go back and watch the replay. Put all your comments and questions still in there, because we might come back and answer them later on. You never know. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern as I chat with my very special guest. And I actually have a Thursday episode, so just 2 days away. Make sure you come back and chat with me on this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Same place, same time, new guests that I'll be chatting with. So make sure that you sign up for updates. You see it going right there across the bottom of the screen, bit.ly/happy updates, so that you can find out when all of the episodes are airing. Sometimes my guests have special happy hour specials, but only for those that are subscribed to the email list. And speaking of email lists, let's talk about somebody is going to win some credit repair, but you got to work for it, okay? Because we're not just about to give it to you. You got to work for it. So 3 easy peasy steps. Just 1, 2, 3. You got it. The first thing is to subscribe to email updates on the Happy Hour show. You see it right down there below. You already know what to do. And then second, share this video out. I cannot express enough how impactful this is. Just this exchange of information and dialogue that we've had is going to change someone's life. So share this video and then tag 3 friends. Share it on YouTube, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook, wherever you want to share it. Share it. Tag 3 friends. Make sure you tag Mr. Momodou. Make sure you tag myself so we can validate your entry. And you have, do it right now so you don't forget, but you have until the end of the month. And on August 31st, we'll just say September 1st, somebody that has done those things, you subscribe, you shared, you tag 3 friends, and make sure you tag us too as well. You are going to be the special winner of some free credit repair. Simple as that. Simple as that. Now, that's not too hard of work, right? Ain't nobody asked you to go slave for 10 hours or nothing.
Wow. And I definitely want to say, if you are even on this session at the moment, then that means you're already doing the work. I mean, you know, self-development is very, very important. You can never invest in something more powerful than yourself learning the knowledge. So I always really, really commend the folks who, you know, seek out podcasts, seek out speakers, seek out interviews, because if you're constantly working on yourself, that means you're halfway there. You've already done the brunt of the work. So keep that up and clap it up for yourself. So I really appreciate you all for being present.
Yes, yes, yes. Again, let me put Mr. Momodou's info right back on the, oh, just kidding. There we go. Info right there. Please reach out if you are interested in credit repair, regardless of if you win the contest or not. He does a phenomenal job in actually giving you the tools, as you've heard throughout this broadcast, and it's a holistic. So not only will you get your money and your finances and your credit all together, but your life in general, just on that personal growth path. But again, you have to make the decision to take some sort of action, no matter how small that action is. And one more time, let me put the contest rules right there. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3. Subscribe, share, and tag some friends. And make sure you tag us too so we can validate your contest entry. Any last words for the people? Any last words?
Love yourself. You deserve it. Do the right thing for the right reasons, not to get anything back in return. And more than all, pray. That's all.
Yes, yes. And on that note, I bid you farewell, and I will see you guys just 2 days on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for another special airing of the Happy Hour show with Lindsey Vertner. And I want to thank my guest, Momodou Mambouray, for delivering some awesome nuggets. Please go back and watch the replay. Please share this with your friends, and I wish you many, many blessings.